Hello, Anna here, coming to you on a beautiful afternoon in Playa Negra, Puerto Viejo, Costa Rica. And we are going to talk about longing. What do you desire? What do you want? What does your heart ache for? What are you here to allow forth through your vessel, and what are you calling towards you? And I'm speaking these words to myself because for the longest time I would siphon off my desire. When I would feel like I wanted something, I would turn the other direction and run far away and not allow myself to even feel that desire, much less have the thing, whether it be the person or the food or the career or the school or the moment, whatever it is. I would turn away and not allow in that feeling of longing. And there's so much here with why this has been a pattern for me and why it may be a pattern for so many others. To start with, I feel like I was taught that my desire doesn't matter and that it's shameful. I shouldn't have desire. I shouldn't have needs. I should definitely not voice that desire and let myself have desire, because desire is kind of akin with pleasure. And so yeah, sexual pleasure, sexual desire, all of that was very and some of that energy kind of seeps into all desire, even if it's not sexual. But this concept of pleasure and wanting something and letting yourself have it, there's something indulgent about it, or oh, that's that's too much, or oh, don't let yourself go there, what would happen if you do? And so yeah, I've developed a lot of tactics of creating aversions to my desire. And also because a lot of the desires I've had have been not in alignment with what our culture tells us our desires should be. And so the desire to belong was stronger, to fit in rather, was stronger than the desire to voice my needs and pursue them. And so I've really learned to shut down those desires. And so now that it's safe to open up into the desires, I'm learning how to let myself feel it, because it had become a subconscious pattern. Not oh, I'm gonna feel this desire and then I'm gonna turn away. It was just turning away, to the point where I almost didn't even know how to be in touch with that feeling of longing, how to be in touch with what I wanted. So it's become a remembrance of how to own my desire, how to let myself have a desire, how to let myself want, how to let myself listen to the body and to the soul and to what my calling is, because denying my desires has only gotten me so far, not that far. that's what I'll say about that. Has not gotten me very far. And so yeah, and if we want to steward the new earth into being and really be the stewards of change that we are here to be, then we get to own our longing. Because if we are to call towards us what we're longing for, the only way to do that is to feel the longing. It's not to think about it and calculate it and plan it and then hope that it arrives. It's no, if we're gonna manifest something, it comes from being a vibrational match for that to arrive into our life. And it's not so much about the specific thing or the specific client or partner or whatever it is. It's about how we will feel, what we want to feel, what our bodies want to express and experience in this lifetime. Because when we're in that state of openness, that's where our magnetism is, that's our magic, that's our radiance. That is where we call in that which we long for. And so it all starts with us first tuning in with the sensation of longing. And so I invite us to do that right now. And so just feeling for a moment. Where in your body does your longing live? So for me right now, where I'm feeling it is in my throat. Like a liquid blood just pulsing in my throat of this desire to be fully expressed, the desire to be throat chakra totally open and fluid, and just singing, screaming my truth. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Oh, okay, it's moving, it's moving, it's moving. It's like kind of in the heart. Yeah. Oh, okay, it's a desire for connection as well. So in that openness, in that like expression and being felt and purpose, it's like I want to also connect. So I want to be seen and I want to be received in my truth. And in this longing, it's almost like, oh, there's a lot of pleasure there when I really open to it. There's so much pleasure. It's like, yes. Oh, feel me, feel me, feel me, feel me. And like this rocking sensation in my body when I really open to it. Oh, it's so cool to feel this, because when I don't open to it, there's so much pain. It's like an icky, like, and when I open to the longing, I see how there could be elements of that, like ache. But when I really go in, it's juicy. It's like, feel me, feel me. Oh, and my yoni, yeah, feeling it in my yoni now too. This like, yeah, this is what I want. This is what I want. And I can let myself want it. Forget about having it. I can let myself want it. And what a tasty, delicious feeling in my body it is to want something and fucking own it. I own that I want to be fully expressed in this lifetime. I own that I want to be seen and felt, and I want my truth to radiate out into the world. And I don't want that to just happen like, oh, my truth is radiating out into the world. I want people to feel it and be affected and then embody that, and for that truth to spark and inspire something in others to come home to their bodies, to share their truth, to be more deeply in alignment with the earth, to remember their wildness, to wake the fuck up and come home to this sense of community, to this sense of love, to empowerment, to deep listening. Wow, it feels so good to speak that. Thank you for letting me speak that. Thank you for receiving me. And speaking it is like, it's taking it out of the shadow and bringing it into the light. And that's the beauty of feeling our longing, of naming our longing, is that any shame associated with what we want, when we speak it, it just gets to be out there. And then it's like, okay, will it happen? I don't know. I have no fucking idea, but I know that this is a longing I have. And if I don't speak it, then it's gonna come out in perverse ways of like, oh, I want this, but I don't know if I can have it, and so I'm gonna tiptoe around. Maybe it's not allowed because like there are already so many other people out there who are sharing their truth, and maybe it's, I don't know if I can, and then it's like a little like gremlin. The longing is like this little gremlin then. And it's just like going around, and ultimately what it's doing is it's keeping me small and tight in a ball, and definitely not magnetizing towards me what I long for. So we just get to clear that, and we get to let ourselves feel the longing, and we get to, hi fam, my phone died at the beach. But just to get back to what we were talking about, longing, and how we get to own it, and if we don't, then it becomes this little gremlin in the shadow. And so what I really encourage us all to do is to allow ourselves to feel that sense of longing and claim it. Fucking claim it. Oh, the other one I want to claim, the deep desire for partnership and being met breath to breath, eye to eye, heart to heart, in the deepest way that I ever have been, by someone who is aligned and just fucking gets it. And just, yeah, the depth of that longing is so extreme and ancient. And, you know, something with this lack of owning the longing is that it's like there's part of us that believes that we're not worthy of having what we long for, or part of us that believes that we'll never have it, that it's just not possible. And so when we can let ourselves feel the longing, because at first, as I was saying earlier in the video, like it hurts often at first. It's like, oh, the pain of not having it, like the ache, the throb of like how much I want to be in partnership, how much I want to be received by community, by people, by the world, for my power, my work, my beauty, all the things. that there's like a pain of not having it. And so we get to feel that peace and then allow that to open up into the pleasure of the longing for what we want. And letting ourselves come into the frequency of longing means that, like, then we can let our whole body give our whole body to the longing. And then it's not a fantasy where it's like, oh, because that's what it is. It's like the fantasy is going to govern our reality. The longing is going to govern our reality in secret if we don't speak it and we don't feel it and we don't share it and open to it and allow it to be in the light. And then once it's in the light, the things that I want, then I can, then it's like an exhale, a weight lifted. And whether or not it happens, I can feel the juice and joy and pleasure of the things that I want. And I don't need to, hope that they happen over here while I'm actually doing work over here in a different direction. That's not quite where I want to be. And so this process of alignment, it's like a constant like, and a lot of alignment is about owning our longing and about feeling and how deep the longing goes. Like the depth of the longing, it's not just for partnership. It's not just for being received in my power. It is for an earth that is clean. It is for fresh air everywhere and clean water for everyone, and the end of rape, the end of violence towards all of humanity, and us to be in right relationship with the animal kingdom, and for wars to stop. And so that longing that's so big that those of us who are waking up are feeling, it's overwhelming sometimes, because it's like, how can I long for something that I have no idea how to have happen, right? And it's not up to just me to create these changes. It's up to all of us. And when we let ourselves be in alignment with the longing, then it frees up so much energy and space to live our lives and be in fucking surrender to our life's work. And that's where then all of our energy can go into being these stewards of change on the planet. And ultimately being alive and awake and in our purpose is incredibly pleasurable. It's what we want. It's what our soul came here to do. And there can be cobwebs and things to work through to like sort out and suffering on that path of coming into our soul's purpose. But as we surrender more and more to that pulse of who we really are, then it cracks us open and allows us to then live in the present moment and not be in a thwarted form of longing, a thwarted longing that's like a fantasy that's kind of governing things back here. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for being willing to own your longing, and I would love for you to pop a comment down below about what you long for. What is your deepest dream, your deepest desire? How juicy can it get? How much will you dare to dream? How much will you dare to share? How much will you dare to own your longing and desire? I want to hear it. Tell me the juiciest, darkest, deepest part. Let's bring it out. Let's put it in the light. Let's love up on this desire, because you get to have desires. Yeah, you get to have them. You get to feel. You get to be fully received, and your heart gets to be fully felt. Thank you for feeling my heart and my truth and my dreams and my desires. And please click subscribe below on this channel. I would love to hear what you want to hear more of, and I'm really hoping to keep creating a sense of community on this channel as I'm just kind of getting back on, and really want to call in folks who are walking this path and who are owning their desire. Love you all so much. Bless, bless, bless. Mwah.